defenders have been given. Like,
Are we live? Of course we're live. People, Deluded Gooner, I'm back again. People, Deluded, I'm back again. I don't know why I read my full name out, said my full name, but here we go. Monday morning, clearly I need to get with it, but fundamentally, people, I hope you're all waking up refreshed. You're blessed. You know, I assume if you're listening to this, you've got your health. You know, with health, I hope you all have continued good health, and obviously your loved ones. Everything else is a bonus. Hope you're all ready to aggressively attack our goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations for this week. I know I am. I know from a goals set of mind, if that makes sense, people. I've got a lot of things to do. In terms of content, we've got a big week. You know, I think I'm doing a live watch along every day. We've got Arsenal Palace today. Please make sure you're checking out the pinned message, people, in relation to that. You know, I've got you. And as you know, it's live from 7 p.m. Tuesday's Champions League on Twitch and YouTube. You know, the 5:45 kickoffs will be on Twitch. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, it's Lazio Marseille. We ain't been sharing the Europa League some love, so I thought, you know what, I might as well get into that one. Friday, it's Arsenal Aston Villa. Saturday, I'm doing Chelsea Norwich, and I'm pretty sure I will do Brighton Man City. And then obviously there's some big games on Sunday, so the grind don't stop. How can I, people? I hope you're doing well and safe. Hope you're all in good spirits. Obviously, please make sure you're supporting the thing here, because this is the first of 3 live streams today as well, people. We're obviously here at 11:30. I mentioned 7 p.m. for Arsenal, but in between that, I believe at 3 p.m. I'll be on Twitch, and we'll be speaking about general footballing topics. You know, I want to speak about this Icardi business, Unai Emery allegedly to Newcastle. Whole little bits and pieces are going on, people. And actually Tuesday, I'll be live on Twitch at 10 a.m. as well. DG podcast settings. One love to everyone that's going to be there. But as I was saying, people, good morning to those of you in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Hope everyone's well and safe. Hope everyone's in good spirits and all of those sort of things. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Every like button does bits for the engagement, people. Before we crack on, you know, obviously, we ain't been linked with Osimhen. I want to speak about him, really, but we've been linked with couple strikers. Vieria's had a little bits and pieces. I'm sure you lot have a couple of opinions of your own to get in. Don't feel any sort of way, any questions, anything, get them in. You know, it's a pleasure to be here with you lot time and time again, because you lot make this for where it is. You ask questions, you know, you say thought-provoking things. You make sure we stay up to date with any news that's emerging, provide different perspective, just supporting the thing. I appreciate it. So shout out to everyone liking, commenting, subscribing. Shout out to everyone who might not necessarily be doing that, but they're supporting. And one love to my 9-to-5ers and grinders and anyone who's found a way to fit me into their day and whatnot. So yeah, I appreciate everyone. But enough of that. Big up yourself, Gibbler, PMav, Joe, Tino. Again, if we had a football team, you lot would be getting contracts, man. You're part of the furniture, really and truly. Man said, finish my uni lecture just in time. Big up you, because I assume you had a 9 a.m. I know that must be a killer, but you got it done, man. You got it done. You got to stay grinding, man. You got to, man. Hopefully it pays off one time, man. Are Man United-ish. By their own standards, they are. See the Michael Carrick Vieira thing. Guardian said we were going to get him, but PV4 ended up staying in 2004. I mean, the Guardian's a bit bored, because we know this, my guy. We know we tried to get Carrick. We know Arsene Wenger was a big fan of his. And to be fair, Carrick was on joining. Must have, you know, everything worked out for the best, I would say, with Michael Carrick. You know, we could have had Carrick, we could have had Alonso, coulda, woulda, shoulda. All of these things could have been done in it. And, you know, I said that anyone that's, not to sound condescending because I'm 26, but anyone that's old enough to remember, you know, Patrick Vieira wanted to leave almost every year, really. 1 minute it's Madrid, then it's this club. You know, he flirted with United on a couple of occasions. Sir Alex Ferguson tried his best to grab him. You know, it's no surprise, really and truly. You know, he was flirting with Real Madrid for time, really. You know, Xabi Alonso, I can't condone him not being at Arsenal Football Club, because I did feel it was a fellow Spaniard in Rafa Benitez that's trying to get Gareth Barry in and get Alonso out. I couldn't understand that we wanted him. Personally, Alonso's always been a baller, and I used to say it them times there. I feel it's only when Alonso went to Real Madrid. I'm not saying he didn't get plaudits at Liverpool, because he was a good player. He's scoring from halfway line and things, but it just felt when he went to Bayern Munich and Liverpool, that seemed to me, anyways, at least where this country's concerned, it seemed that he was going to get a lot more. You know, he got a lot more. His name was just ringing a bit more bells. People are giving him a bit more respect now. I know them times they're being Spanish, you're unlucky in it. You know, Xabi Alonso, Santi Cazorla, at a point maybe Juan Mata. There's a bunch of other clubs. Anytime you're involved where Xavi, Iniesta, and potentially Busquets are, you're not going to really get any limelight. You're not really going to get remembered like that. You might not even get your flowers, unfortunately. So it wouldn't surprise me. And I mean, as an Arsenal fan, you know, if you lot still pull your hair out, you know, at these we tried and we was going to get this and we was going to do that, you're going to turn yourself into a madman or madwoman at this point in time. It's not worth it, really. And it wouldn't surprise me. We've been down that road, man. So it's just a shame that, you know, Xabi Alonso didn't end up at the football club, if I'm completely honest with you. Let me make that a timestamp. Xabi Vieira stopped us from signing CARRICK / we were close to Xabi Alonso, what a signing that would have been for us, man. You know, we've been down this, you know, I've seen Cristiano Ronaldo hold an Arsenal shirt. I've seen Zlatan Ibrahimovic in an Arsenal shirt. I've seen Yaya Toure play in a friendly. I've seen Valverde on trial at this club. You know, Griezmann wanted to join us. Bare things have happened, man, but there shoulda, woulda, coulda. And it's not just us. Obviously, where Arsenal are concerned and the Euro and the Emirates and things, bare clubs did the we tried thing. You know, there's a certain English club that you could have had that had Karim Adeyemi in their palms, people. There's been times where these things have happened. So it is what it is. Blackburn almost famously got Robert Lewandowski, who we'll be speaking about on Twitch at 3 p.m. Apparently he wants to go. He wants to keep it moving and go Real Madrid. And Real Madrid, it seems like everyone and their nan wants to sign for them. So it is what it is. But we tried for everyone in this world, man. So yeah. Bro, Alonso was elite, but it's just sometimes I don't feel man rate this thing. Like, everybody rates Messi now. And again, I'm not the oldest, but in my 26 years, I remember when the whole of the England game didn't really rate us. I didn't really rate Lionel Messi. Because I remember I go back to, let's say, 04. People were still on that, oh, he can't do it. Man said 04, 2009, the Champions League final. People were still on that, oh, can he do it against British teams and whatnot? 2-2s now. Out jumping Rio Ferdinand to a header and the rest of it, people. It is what it is. Was it Zlatan that rejected a trial from us? Yeah, Zlatan don't do trials, and rightly so, man. Mascherano was certified, you know, even became a 6 centre-half. And to be fair, what was that World Cup? It was just Messi and Mascherano for Argentina versus the world. It might have been 2014. It just felt like the other players were shit / not serious. It's just Messi and Mascherano just trying the thing, really. You know, I mean, one thing I hate about football, and especially legends, yeah, with respect to Vieira or anyone, this narrative that they never threw their toys out the pram, this narrative that they weren't necessarily money motivated. And I find it a bit ironic when some of these guys criticize players because a man might play for Arsenal and Spurs and they're spudding each other and they're not really rivals like that sort of thing from a personal point of view. You know, all of these guys wanted to leave year in, year out. All of these guys always famously said they were underpaid. Nothing changes in the game but the players, people. It is what it is in that regards. I do find it very ironic, very, very ironic when certain people call other individuals cash grabbers and prima donnas and all of these things, people. Please make sure we're also hitting the like button, people. Every like button does bits for the engagement. 30 likes so far. You know, there's just over 65 of you. Well, there is 65 of you locked in. We can do a bit better. Appreciate the members, them. Works trying to shag me. Aye, man. You know, handle the work, handle the 9 to 5, find a way around it, man. The beautiful thing about YouTube is, unless I delete a video, it's still going to be here. Big up UK rap blogs. Like they've said, big up Deluded. Let's hit the like button, people. It's free. And you know what they say, the best things in life are free, people. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. I'm enjoying the chat. Keep it coming, people. Man said, Arsenal's motto link with everybody, but never get nobody these days. That's a bit harsh. You know, we never said we're signing Osimhen. I mean, you know, I can't lie. This guy was, I think you commented at like 7 a.m. Why are you talking about Osimhen? Arsenal can't sign him. And all of this prima donna nonsense. And I mean, the fact that you're still here, bro, you need to go watch board or use the internet better by God, Tinder or something. Allow me, my guy. You know, we're allowed to talk about what the hell we need to talk about. Blackburn and Lewandowski, what a deal that would have been given how he turned out. Do you know what it is? It would have, but I might be thinking too deeply about football. But generally, I think, yeah, Lewandowski probably would have done the bits for Blackburn. But how would he have you know, would it have worked out? Would he have been that Lewandowski? Would he have got the training and all of these things? You know, I don't know, but I think the times he was meant to sign for Blackburn, bro, I think there was an ash cloud around where he was meant to get the plane, and it didn't develop, did it, man? Don't forget Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk in relation to what? Xabi Alonso at Bayern Munich was different gravy. Old Spanish man moving mad in Germany, bro. There was a time it just seemed like he was just on playing, winning Champions League every year. That was about it. Interesting comments, people. Interesting comments. Good to be back, DG. Had to work most of last week and missed most of your live streams. Minor team, I don't apologize for handling your business. Like I said, YouTube, unless I delete it or someone does bad mind, the content's always going to be there, man. It's always going to be there. But let's crack on now. I don't want to be the guy. I hate being this guy. I hate mentioning guys that are not at this club anymore, people that futures appear to be written off and things. But I mean, if you did watch Lorient versus Marseille, you did see a decent performance from Saliba. You did see a good performance from Guendouzi. I think people are getting a bit excited as someone that watched it. You know, I've been impressed, quote unquote, with what I've seen with Guendouzi throughout his time at Arsenal. I did a video with him when he was at Lorient. Every club he's played for, we know he's got quality. We know he's got leadership qualities. But for every, I feel, accusation of his bad attitude and all of these things, there's equally examples to show how good he might be. You're not going to get called up to France. If I know French people are very opinionated, but he's clearly not disruptive to be in that, being called up for the camp a couple of times, captained Marseille, obviously getting better and better. And yesterday he scored 2 goals, you know, the best one probably the header. He did get an assist, and to be fair to you, I do think Guendouzi thrives when it seems like the match is filled of chaos. It's end to end, it's a bit mad. He's got a good mentality. Marseille's a massive club and a massive sort of, you know, fan base. And, you know, as much as I love Guendouzi, he's a passion merchant. We loved him for what he did in the North London derby. It's set up well. Now, there's like with Mavropanos' deal to Stuttgart, when it comes to Matteo Guendouzi and Arsenal, there seems to be a bit of unclarity. It appears that it's a loan with an option to buy. It also appears that it's a loan with an obligation to buy. And it also appears that it could be a loan with an obligation, assuming certain variables are hit. Now, one thing I do know, I don't want to go over the same things, but I do think Arteta just wants him out. Whatever about his influence, just want to keep it moving. From a business point of view, he's got a year left on his deal from next summer, so you're going to have to keep it moving. But apparently it's about up to 11 million for Marseille to get his deal permanently. We've already lost out then because he's already worth more than that. He's quote unquote become an international trophy winner with France. He's developing in his homeland, playing for a big club in Marseille, showing his bits and pieces in Europe and domestically. They're going to make a lot more money. I know Mikel Arteta didn't exactly say Guendouzi has a future at the club or rule it out in his press conference, but he's not going to, with it being October. I'm a big fan of Guendouzi. I'm a big fan of just moving away from the situation. I don't agree with it. I don't understand it, but I get it. There's a billion things wrong with Arsenal. Guendouzi's a good player. He's not a great player. So if he is disruptive, if Arteta doesn't want to use him, cool, no dramas. You go and kick on where you need to kick on. Let's try and get Arsenal back into Europe and whatever, and it is what it is. And I've said, I think Guendouzi's going to have a good career, and we're going to look back at a what if thing with Matteo. But when he puts in performances like he did yesterday, you can't help but say, yo, maybe we could have dealt with that. Maybe we could have dealt with that, especially with our midfield, the options we have in there. You know, I still think there's a lot of definement to do with Guendouzi. I've seen him play slightly out wide in the midfield role for Marseille, like he's a centre mid, but pulling out there. Seen him play a couple of different roles. You know, Marseille, it seems like Sao Paulo does love to chop and change, but, you know, I mean, are we making a mistake? I'm not saying necessarily the fact that he isn't returning to the club and playing for Arsenal Football Club, even though that is what I would like if we're not going to sign better midfielders or elsewhere. But for me, a money point of view, you know, you might be selling him for 9 to 11 million, which might be good considering you pay pennies on him, but he's worth 20 million now. Marseille make him permanent, keep him for a couple of years, he's gone. It's the same sort of thing we saw with Ismail Benassia, where we sold him for pennies and things like that. You know, from a business point of view, the money you could have got for Guendouzi could have been slapped in to do other things. And personally, I want Guendouzi to return. I wouldn't have liked him to leave. But if you was to get a decent money for Guendouzi and that was to be reinvested, and for me, bring in a midfielder that can proper partner Partey and make us a bit better in that regards, people won't really care. Something along those lines, P-Mav. Yeah, he's a decent player. I do think people get into fanfare with Guendouzi. I do think with Arteta still having question marks about his reign, questioning what's going on with Guendouzi is another stick to beat Arteta over the head with, in the sense of, let's be real, there is legitimate, I'm speaking about the real Arsenal fans. There's legitimate reasons to say Guendouzi was quote unquote overrated or not needed. There's reasons for him to stay. Now, there's some people that would say when Guendouzi was at Arsenal, and things can change, when he was here, he's rubbish. He's not good. He's not this. He's not that. The minute he's left, suddenly what's going on? And I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans rewrite history with Guendouzi, Joe Willock. Saliba's a different debate in itself, but you get the point, and he's actually spoken. So it's a bit of an interesting one, really and truly. That's maybe where a lot of the frustration comes from. What I would say with Guendouzi is, I've said it before, he's going to get a couple call-ups from France and get capped. He's going to play at a high level, but he might look back at Arsenal, and Arsenal might look back at his time and say, what if? And for me, again, I hope all the players on loan play well, because obviously that might mean they have a future here or they're sold. And for me, I look at 3 players in particular that we're going to have our work cut out to move them on in the summer, assuming nothing happens. You've got Bellerin, assuming, whatever happens. You've got Torreira and you've got Guendouzi. At least if Guendouzi's not going to be here, and let's just say Marseille didn't invoke the buy clause, which I don't think they are, you stand in a good position to make some money on him. With Bellerin, I don't know what's going to happen there. With Torreira, I don't know what's going to happen there. And obviously, these moving people on, like you've seen every summer where Arsenal concerned, is going to affect what we might, can or can't do, as well as if we get into Europe in any capacity, whether that's Conference League, Europa League, hopefully, Champions League, by God's grace. You're probably braced for me. I'm braced for another year with no Europe/Conference League at best. But you get the point, man. When Guendouzi's going to have performances like that, people is going to get him in there. I do think he's a bit of a misunderstood one. Matteo has that attacking mentality in the middle of the field. Wouldn't quite say that, but I see what you mean. He does want to get the ball forward. I do think people are, certain people underestimate his abilities and people overstate it. I think he's somewhere in the middle. Guendouzi and Partey's partnership sounds much better than Xhaka and Guendouzi, though it does. Guendouzi needs a big role at the club, for example, vice captain. He'll perform much better because he has a point to prove. I'm sorry, I hear you, and it makes sense, but yeah, man. I'm not giving him no vice captain at Arsenal Football Club for what? What's he done to show that? It's one of them ones. Enjoy being at the game tonight, bro. Hopefully Arsenal give you something to get behind. Marseille will end up selling Guendo for at least 3 times the price they got him for. And I mean, that happens with us, innit? Matteo is not leaving. He'll sign a new contract and play for Arsenal after Arteta leaves. I mean, we have to see, man. Matteo is a good player, but you can't disrespect the manager. That's where he needs to change. And I mean, it seems that Arteta is the only one. I think he's just pissed off Arteta a million times, and he said, you know what, final straw, get out of here, sort of thing, really and truly, if that makes sense. You heard him apparently acting up in Dubai, pissing off Edu. It just got long. People are not on it, really and truly. This is Martinez all over again. Anytime he has a good game performance, it's going to be this narrative, of course. And that's what you're going to see with Joe Willock. Joe Willock and Newcastle have done fuck all, pardon my language. That's why man are not saying anything. That's why I can't lie. Right now, you've got to give Arsenal credit, Man was saying 70 million on Maddison. Leicester aren't looking the best right now. So it's looking like, Odegaard was the thing. 70 million. It wasn't the one. Joe Willock's not doing anything. So it's looking like we fleeced Newcastle. And I can't lie, assuming Joe Willock don't improve, Arsenal have done a lot of terrible business, people. But between somehow getting 25, 27 million for Joe Willock, 30 odd for Iwobi, and a similar fee for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, bro, we even we're capable of stuff. And I think that shows the Premier League struggles in its own. I mean, nowhere in the world is someone going to pay 50 million for Sigurdsson either. But you're right, and I do think people remix the narrative with Martinez. Sometimes, football's about development. Maybe Martinez weren't ready. I wanted Martinez to stay. I didn't really want to bet on Leno. It's all of these things. But at the same time, maybe Martinez never got a chance and things, but there was times he played Europa League or whatever, or in cup games, and he looked rubbish, really and truly. I think there's this rewritten of history, Chase Gold, you're right, that there was this quality keeper that he is now always in the works at Arsenal, and he wasn't given an opportunity, which might be true, but might not necessarily be true. And like you said, that's the narrative. Things have been a bit quiet at this moment in time. So yeah, man. And you're right, Sigurdsson needs to beat that case, and I mean he's gone away. But you get the point. He was signed by Everton for 50 million at the time. So yeah, bro, Guendouzi's a lovely footballer. I think he's one of them where, especially in England, you're not gonna necessarily, you're either gonna rate or you're not gonna rate. I don't think there's in between. There's none of this. He's a good player, but I think because he's not necessarily someone that's you're gonna evidently see everything he does. 10 goals, 10 assists, all that Starboy stuff. I don't think he's one of them. I think he's described as a cultured midfielder. Every midfielder should be looking to get goals and assists in most cases, people that play in his, but he's more of a cultured one. I don't think he's a player where I think best performances are necessarily correlated to goals and assists. Like even in the game for Marseille, I think I was impressed with how all action he was, really, really and truly. Guendouzi reminds me of Frankie de Jong. Nah. I think that one there is overtaking it. But he's a good ball carrier. He's got a good mentality. He's energetic. He puts the shift in. He's got a good passing range. I like him a lot. But end of the day, I can't change anything. So I've just made peace with he's probably gone. I know Arteta's played up Saliba returning, but I don't know what's going on there. It's just a shame, really, because when I look back at the recruitment, I wanted Torreira before he signed for Arsenal, and Guendouzi the same. And then I look back, is there stuff we could have learned in hindsight? Because Guendouzi's been having this ADHD sort of problematic stuff throughout his career. Is there something we could have looked at with relation to that? For Torreira, on the face of it, it was a thing of, he moved from Uruguay at 18 years of age and he's playing in Italy. It shouldn't look like there's any problem settling. But is there something we could have looked at to come and to help us reach this conclusion that he's going to struggle to settle in England, which seems to be a reason as to why it didn't really bang for him, really and truly, really. Wish Guendouzi acted older than his actual age. Still seems like a kid, but a great player. And that's the wickedest thing. For every example of him showing immaturity, he shows great examples of maturity. I just think he needed a clip round the ear. Calm yourself down. You're playing at Arsenal. You're doing good things. Calm yourself down or it's going to get long. And then I think move on from there. I do think he's got quality. And I do think Arteta knows that because he was starting him against Man City and these sort of things. We'll have to see. And I mean, Guendo will end up at Newcastle in 2 years. To be fair, be a good fit for them. Passion Merchant FC. Martinez is a late bloomer, great goalkeeper, but we need to forget about him. We've got Rams now. He's young and looks more than promising. That's the thing. Exactly. You have to make our peace. I know Martinez always wants to talk about Arsenal, but it's done now, isn't it? Like, it's done. It is what it is. And that's how I feel about Guendouzi. That's how I feel a bit about Saliba. Like, I badly want both of them, especially Saliba, to return. But I've made my peace in the sense of no matter what the club say, it might not happen, really. It just might not happen. He might just be sold on and keeping it moving in that regards, people. And even on the topic of Saliba, people, again, I know I've been slacking with the loan reports. You don't have to allow me. I'm a one-man band. There's been a lot of work to do, but we'll probably get that out before Wednesday. And then obviously, I think Saliba's had up and downs. He had a good performance yesterday in their win. Last 2 games prior to that, he did look a bit shaky. He's not going to return to Arsenal being amazing, but he's spoken about 1-2 bits and pieces, people. If I can actually find it. Where is it? Saliba. And Saliba's passing at times puts people under pressure, as you'd expect. A lot of these things I expect a 20/21-year-old to have, people. But he's actually been speaking again about Marseille. And a lot of people, like myself, would have preferred him to go to England, on loan in England. Apparently, Arsenal also did as well. He wanted to go back to France. I get it. The lure of playing under Sao Paulo, big club in France, religious sort of ultras and that at Marseille. They're in Europe, all of these sort of things. 131 of you locked in. If all of you hit the like button, we've hit our target. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Check out the pin message because later today it's Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. I'll be doing a watch along. 3 p.m. we head over to Twitch for a more general football chat. But Saliba has said, I've never seen passion like this. And this is someone that is a passion merchant. You see how mad he moved in the St. Etienne big games and that. But he said, Pablo Longoria told me that if I wanted to reach the next level in my progression, I had to come here. If you can perform at Marseille, to play under this pressure, you can play anywhere else. And to be fair, you can play at Silent Emirates if you can play here. I had to do it, people. I haven't even signed yet. And I was already getting messages from supporters. I've never seen passion like this. In this town, the only thing that matters is Marseille. With Sao Paulo, we have to give our all from start to finish. We cannot do half-heartedly. Sometimes I don't put enough power on my passes, and he tells me those are kid passes, and it's true. Stray passes, and I've seen it with Saliba. He played a stray pass in his own area, and he put his teammate in trouble in a couple of games ago, and a penalty was conceded. Again, Saliba is not the finished article. You know, he's never going to be at 20 years of age unless you're, you know, them guys there. They're rare occasions. You're not going to be that. But all I wanted to do is return being a more confident player. This obviously must be the same thing, people. Yeah, he's more or less said the same thing here. It's a bit of an underkill here. So he's echoed the same thing. So hopefully next season, Saliba gets opportunities at this football club. And like I said, in an ideal world as an Arsenal fan, I want to see a blossoming partnership between Ben White and Gabriel. I want Saliba to come and give Arteta or whoever is the manager a headache. I want us to be able to play a 3 at the back, 4 at the back. Can we play Saliba and Ben White? Can we play Gabriel and Saliba? Can we continue Ben White and Gabriel? You know, there's options there. And to be fair, next season, I kind of want our centre-half options something along the lines of the following people. Obviously, goes without saying, Ben White, Gabriel, would love Saliba. I can't lie, I'd be open to letting Holding go, you know, because I think he could get a decent sum and that can be reinvested, but I wouldn't mind him staying. And I do think we might see next season more of Tomiyasu playing as a centre-half at times. I do think, you know, one of the 3 of Chambers, Marie and Holding can stay. My bias would probably be Holding. I'd look to get rid of, probably sell Chambers, sell because he's just a bit stale. It's like having an old coat for years. Like, go and get a new one with Chambers. Marie's just not cut up the task, if I'm completely honest with you. Oh yeah, man. Saliba explains why he joined OM. So I would say that. What else are you lot saying, man? Interesting comments, people. As I said, big respect to you lot for supporting the team. Big up Tinted Red Glasses, always supporting. Whatever happens with Guendouzi, like Martinez, because we got them so cheap, we lose out financially. Although we might not get their full value. Either way, hit the like button. Don't hit the log off. Appreciate that. And that's it. All I care about is making top buck. That's all I care about. Like, you know, if guys, it's going to happen. Sometimes a player should make it at this club. The manager's moving mad. Just go and make top money. You know, my problem with Martinez is apparently he wanted to leave. I think Martinez would have stayed if you told him you and Leno made a best man win sort of thing. I think it was made abundantly clear you got no hope. So if he wanted to leave, and let's be real, you know, in a matter of months, it felt like we found 20 million or a 20 million pound player out of nowhere. Cool, keep it moving. You know, go and get some money. Joe Willock, go and get some money. You know, Guendouzi, really, he should be getting more than Joe Willock or a similar fee minimum, really. I don't know if it's English premium, but if we're real, who's the better midfielder? I know I know there's different factors and whatnot, but all I care about is the P's. If we're meant to be self-financing and stuff, it's about how you sell players. You know, so what you could do, football, it happens. We just got to keep it moving. Shout out to AM. Is what it is. Why not play a back 3 with White, Saliba, Gabriel instead of 2 of the 3? I mean, I just said there's an option to do that, but I can't lie. I'm a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 man by trade. So again, that by that logic, it's a partnership rather than a trio. But I always say you need flexibility. Just like when we played Brighton, that was a game for me. We tried to match them, go to a back 3, and then obviously if Ben White, Gabriel, and Saliba were here, that could have been something. But saying that, you know, very naive players going against a street smart team like Brighton, it could have been mad. Man said Martinez is overrated too. I can't lie. I think he's a top goalie, but I do think I know what you mean in that the rhetoric is now. There's too much propaganda behind it. And I just feel with Martinez, like everybody, he's human. He makes mistakes. But I feel whenever he has a good game, you know the story. Oh, how did Arsenal sell him? Da, 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 da. When he has a shaky game, like Villa did in the game against Wolves, there's F all said. And this is how I know Joe Willock ain't performing. Maddison ain't performing. I want all these guys to do well. But the minute Joe Willock goes on that little purple patch thing again, why did Arsenal sell him? The minute Maddison starts doing madness again, why didn't they grab him instead of Odegaard? The narratives, you got to pay close attention to the narratives. You know, again, time is, you know, we're 7-8 games into the start of the season. Things can change. You know, a lot of conclusions have been made. A lot of conclusions were made about Spurs in August, September, and now they're 5th. A lot of conclusions been made about everybody, really and truly. Sort of thing. All that matters is what happens in May. All that matters is the plan. You know, I want Joe Willock to hit it off, but we have to kind of give credit to the club, bro. We got 25 or 27 million for Joe Willock. that provided the sums for Odegaard were flying, really and truly. You know, just like with the guys we brought in right now, it seems like they've all found a little role. And again, there's gonna be question marks, there's gonna be tough periods, but you gotta give credit where due. Man, we're saying sign Maddison for 70 million. It shows ambition. You know, these same people might have sat there and said, "Oh, why did we do that? It's mismanagement." We said, "No, we're going for Odegaard." And again, narratives can change. It's a World Cup year, so you know a couple of players are gonna have purple patches. But there's issues there. You know, I can't lie. I didn't know too much about Raya until I had to start doing my knowledge when we first linked with him. Baller. You can understand why even he was wanted, playing out from the back and all these sort of things. He looks like a better ball playing keeper than Leno. Similar to Ramsdale, it looks like he probably backs his ability on the ball too much based on what I saw against Chelsea at times. But he's a baller. You know, sometimes I think you got to give the club credit where due. The club were right to not sign Maddison and sell Willock at this period in time. But again, narratives can change. That's the beautiful thing about football. What was true on the Monday next Monday could be something else, people. Really and truly. Glad we didn't get Maddison. I'm very happy with Odegaard. I was happy with either one. You know, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I think Maddison's my sort of guy. When I used to play Sunday League, I played with players like that. Guys that are good. They know they're good. They rattle the other team. They're capable of special stuff. And again, 70 million would have been excessive, but it's not my P's in it. English tax. I would have loved it because even though I know it's not necessarily the right decision, let's be real with ourselves, people. We want to get gassed off signings. And, you know, when you sign these, United do it every year. You know, they sign all these guys, your VIERIA, and then whether it correlates to winning is another thing. But you want to get gassed. But same way, I think people were talking about Odegaard them times like he was a scrub. Now, I get it. Didn't set the world alight in January. You know, because he was at the club, it doesn't really feel like a new signing. I get it. But I did feel people were a bit harsh, really and truly, man. You know. Big up DJ and everyone else. Big up yourself for being here. Appreciate that, mate. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that, really. If I'm honest with you. Should sign Zaha. DG. Phil, I rate you, man. You've been consistent for ages with that. And you know what? It's a perfect audition for him now. Personally, I think the boat sailed for Zaha unless there's something we can really do. I don't think Palace and us are going to come to an agreement. But yeah, arguably that new deal he signed probably shagged him. Martinez said he told Arteta that he wanted to leave after he had told him that he had a 95% chance of playing in our opening game of the previous season. He wanted to hear 100% instead of 95. Which, if he did, cool, you got to keep it moving. Which I feel Martinez, if I'm Martinez, you know, I would have made peace with myself. I came here as a young man. I've left as a grown man. You know, I've fought for years. I've kind of left on a high with the FA Cup. If this manager still has a love interest in Leno, it is what it is. I'm keeping it moving. But if he did say, I want to leave, and Martinez was coming on, I need some divine rights, then why? Then I understand why that was to happen. Can't lie, Martinez was shaky yesterday. Bro, the Willock stand, you could see Willock's thing weren't sustainable. I told you that goal thing, he can score goals, but it weren't sustainable. That purple patch, Willock weren't contributing. And yesterday, he looked like a headless chicken. To be fair, a lot of them Newcastle players, they look like forgetting 11. They need a 25-man squad. Like, only look like I would what? You can't sell everyone. It only looks like Willock, Wilson, St. Maximin. In the interim, WILOCK can keep a job. WILOCK can hold it down. Man said release Holding, Marie, keep Chambers. I'd rather keep Holding than Chambers. I can't lie, but they're the same guy, really. I think everyone, I wouldn't release Holding. I go make money. He's cost 2 million. We can make peas on that, really and truly. If I'm honest with you, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to do that. Obviously, people, shameless plug, but make sure you're all here for, you know, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Just drop the link and it's in the pinned message. If you can't be here, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Every like does bits for the engagement. Also, make sure you're hitting the like button on this video and you're opening up another tab and making sure you're here on Twitch at 3 p.m. 87 likes, people. We're close. We're close. We're flirting with it. Not quite there yet, but we're flirting with it. What else you lot saying? Is Laka leaving in January, DG? I mean, we should be open to letting him leave if an offer comes, but I'd probably say not. I would say just leave on a free transfer and wherever he goes, man. DG, brother, what's your honest opinion on Ramsdale? I like him. Jury's still out, you know. I would say the jury's still out. I like his mentality. again, I only played Sunday League, but for me, I like my keepers to be a pain. You know, and if your keeper's nice, I'm not talking about nice away from the game. Nicest guys ever in the pub, by everybody around, but they need to be a cunt, like always shy and always making noise. Ramsdale's more what I want. I think Leno obviously opens his mouth, but Leno's too silent for me. I like the fact that Ramsdale, I don't want to relay this back to Martinez, but a lot of what Martinez was doing in comparison to Leno is the same logic of what I've seen so far with Ramsdale. I like someone who can catch rather than always punching, you know. Ramsdale does that. Question marks over it, not necessarily question marks over his distribution, but we didn't know how good you was at your feet. I think to the point where I think you're a bit too comfortable with the ball at your feet. You know, everything's going well. There's going to be times where it's going bad, where he drops clangers, where he's in bad form. But I like what I've seen, and so far it looks like a calm 30 million acquisition, really and truly. And that's all we want, proven wrong. At the best, man, I'm not talking about Ramsdale's price tag. It might, as I said when he signed for us, he either makes that price tag look like pennies because of the longevity he can provide, or we start saying, like we could have said, or like we might have been saying at the start, we spent all this money on these collective bunch of players. They haven't improved the squad. You see how the narrative has now changed in the sense of now it's okay, cool. There's been a plan. There's these guys are long-term investments, where the first couple games of the season, the journalists and everyone was saying, oh, look, they've bought all these guys. Are they going to improve the team? You know, bringing up all these narratives that, you know, Sheffield United fans were saying they can't believe they fleeced Arsenal and all of these sort of things. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie. For me, out of everybody, the jury's out on Ben White the most because I like him, but I don't know for you. Truthfully, I don't know. You know, I really don't know. 50 mil. I don't know if it's gonna catch up, man. But in relation to Ramsdale, he's done his thing, man. He's got his shirt. Now for me, it's about how you hold on to it. Because I've seen players, you know, we could say Guendouzi, we could say a couple of these players when they've signed, they've started off blistering. When they've got a point to prove or a position they want to steal from someone else, they're on fire. You know, like in life, you know, when you get to that top, the only place is down. You now got a target. Everybody wants to take your spot, sort of thing. So when he gets there, how are we going to do this thing? Because we still need a backup goalie. I'm not going to lie, Arthur Okonkwo and Kyle Hine, I hope they develop. But at this moment in time, I do not rate them as ever being anything other than just you're traveling with the squad guys. I don't think either is good enough to be second choice. I say second choice because, you know, Leno might keep it moving in January. What are we going to do then? To me, if they're in and around the first team, this tells me that if they are fit, they're able to be used. God forbid, if a madness happens to Ramsdale, either player is ready to step in. By the same logic, for me, with the whole 25-man squad, yeah, you got first teamers, young players, etc. But for me, anyone in that squad, you're meant to be relied upon. Yeah, man can sit around and talk about injuries at centre mid and say we should have signed this guy, that guy, we should have got more depth, which is true. But anybody that's in and around that first team, Arteta is telling me if anything happens, these guys are fit and they're ready to play and they're ready to contribute. So the excuses are kind of tiresome, really. Yeah, man, that's what I would say, really. Martinez loves to chat. Guendouzi has an option to buy in the agreement. I really hope he stays. We need players like him with arrogance, attitude, fight to challenge, but I'm afraid Arteta can't manage these types. A lot of people will disagree with me, but I'm old school. Stitz Guendouzi can't behave. I don't want him. I hear you, Tristan. But if we, you know, like you said, you're old school, you know, is this any different from how these players used to carry on? There's plenty of examples of busts up with managers and old school players, really. We got DG. Glad you're back. Who will win, Vieira or Arteta? Think he'll get a good reception tonight. And I mean, Vieira is owed a good reception. You know, don't know how he hasn't got a statue at the Emirates at this moment in time. But yeah, man, 100%. And you know, hope he gets a good reaction. But that's where I hope it ends. I hope we get 3 points. I hope he lets us off. But yeah, man, I hope we win today. I'm gonna go with us winning. But other than that, I don't know. Good opinions, people. Good opinions. You lot are in top form. Arteta yesterday was making noises like Guendouzi may have a chance to impress next season. I hear that, Cam, but for me, it's a bit different because we're in October. We know Guendouzi has a year left, or will have a year left in the summer. We all know we all know what's what with his future. Whether he's going to stay or not, it doesn't make sense for Arteta to say that he's not staying. He's got no chance. You know, we all know he'll probably be moved on, but it doesn't make sense. You know, there's all little funny things that you got to do in relation to transfers and things. And for me, considering it's a World Cup year, he's been called up to the Nations League, he's doing whatever. For me, bro, maybe we've tried to sell man too quickly. And there's a change to be made there. Incredible. Ben White seems too assured in himself and a little bit lightweight in the challenge for me at the moment. Boy needs to get in the gym and treat each duel with respect. He seems like he can do it. Do you know what? I think he's a good reader of the game. I think he's very vocal. I like how he's very calm. And I can't really put a word on it, but it's like there's something missing for me with Ben White. Like there's just something missing. It's like I don't know. Like it's not that you're not serious about this football, but it's like it's almost like I'm playing beach volleyball. Like I'm very passive, kind of that. Like maybe it's just how he comes across, but it's like I don't know, man. I don't get the vibe that you love defending. I get the vibe you're very much the modern day centre half, and for me, for 50 million, I think he can show his worth. But it made me think, for 50 million, we're not really seeing much. How much of the other centre halves that haven't been given a chance off the pace? I like Ben White. I think people are too quick to jump to conclusions. Like I think he was unfairly ripped apart against Brentford because he actually did quite well in the air. And again, he's playing fucking Ivan Toney. Pardon me. And he bounced back well against Spurs. Again, he's doing his thing. But there has been 1-2 moments in these games where, could have been a penalty, could have been 2 penalties against Burnley and this team. So it is what it is. And I would say Ben White's going to look more exposed in an Arsenal setup than Brighton's. Brighton are better defensively set up. They're better coached. They're better street smartness. So we're going to see the real Ben White. You have to remove the Brighton discount and the system tax, if that makes sense. So it's an interesting one, man. I like Ben White, but do you know what it is with Ben White? Because he's not screaming and shouting and carrying on. It's hard to see, is this guy a serious centre half? But every time I've watched him, he's very vocal, and I like Ben White, man. I hope it bangs because he spent 50 mil, but it is what it is, man. Where he's concerned. This is the thing. It seems unclear. It seems like there's an obligation, there's an option, and there's an obligation to buy, assuming certain variables are hit. So I don't have a clue. For me, Criminal Blues, I'm like you. I assume he's gone. That is what it is. I want Arsenal to win, but I feel like we're going to get smacked. Like, man. Been said before, if you knew nothing about transfers and you looked at our matches, you would say that Gabriel was the £50 million defender and Ben White is the £27 million defender. I thought Mustafi was Nesta when he arrived, so I'll judge after a full season. Bro, there was a time Mustafi looked good. Do you remember when they used to say Kostafi? Remember there was a time we actually was unbeaten with Mustafi in the team. My word. And he was actually all right early doors, and then he's showing he's a fraud, man. So far, Ramsdale's looking better value than White, but very early days. And Chase Gold, I hear you, but it's always going to be that, bro. Man costs 30 million. There isn't too much expectations on Ramsdale. We're all like, okay, what's going on here? Like with Ben White, it's a bit the same, but people are looking at it 50 million euros. Not that Ramsdale wasn't. We need to see something, and maybe that 50 million could have. Like, let's cut the crap now. Like at this moment in time, no disrespect to Ben White, and I can't really say any examples, but that 50 million for Ben White. Could it have been invested better in our squad in central midfield? Could you have got a centre half for less of the price that could do an equally, if not better job that's more competent? Now, you're saying these things, it's difficult. Liverpool, Canute's probably got more clout in the game than Ben White has, but, they spent a significant fee for him and he can't get in the team. So maybe this is the way the game is at this moment in time. But I like Ben White, man. I just think Ben White, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe a bit more urgency, but I think he'll be all right, man. Obviously, it's 50 million, so I feel we're kind of scrutinizing everything the man does or doesn't do really unnecessarily at times. But let's see, people. 104 likes, 198 likes, 199 of you locked in, better yet. Anyone who's hit the like button, one love, big respect, and I appreciate that. God bless you. Hopefully, you win the lottery. If you have not hit the like button, unexpected high bills due. I know we're getting to Christmas as well. 16 dislikes, the haters are gonna keep hating, bro. It's a mad thing, bro. You're gonna get that, but they can't stop us. I saw 3 the other day. Somehow it's turned to 16. Somehow it's gonna decrease. There's some mad bots out there, or there's some low life that is doing a mazza with all 17 different devices. Either way, you can't defeat the thing. You can't stop the thing. Like I said, I'm not gonna give any more clout or name on this. Let them keep doing what they're doing, and we'll keep moving and doing what we're doing, man. Almarignon could stay too for now. Nah, he's shit. He's one of the shittest, I feel, like Newcastle, if I'm real with you. Man said Zaha's tired. That transfer still needs to be put to bed. Elite striker is still number 1 priority. Brady, I agree and disagree. Goals win games. We're not scoring goals. I agree with you. You know, it's been an elephant in the room. But for me, I always say I believe in building a house properly, like the foundations. I always say you can't be talking about PS5 and elite surround system and, you know, them fancy clap on lights and a fridge you can talk to if you haven't got the right foundations. If your house literally hasn't got the right foundations for the structure, it's gonna collapse. If you ain't got proper installation and the plumbing and the electricity isn't working, bro, it doesn't matter how good your TV is. If you take a dump and you can't flush it, it's gonna get mad, innit? You know. And I feel with us, obviously, at least at this moment in time, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, the centre halves, Tierney, you know, hopefully, you know, the spine is there. Midfield for me, again, you need someone that can do what Arteta demands of Xhaka to a different level. I would say you need two of them. So I'd say for me, just ever so slightly, midfield, central midfield is just slightly ahead of it. But I agree with you, you know, striker has to be it. And the striker's probably been it for a while, really and truly. How long have we sat here since Arteta's gone here and we've said, you know, we don't quite think he's convinced on everything Aubameyang can do, but he wants him in the team. The same with Lacazette. There was a time Eddie came into this. We need a, it's easier said than done, but we do need a striker. I can't lie though. Unpopular opinion, and I know Smith Rowe does his thing out there as well, and there's a bunch of players. Unpopular opinion, if you could find me a talisman, like a real, like, not Alexis Sanchez, because you're not going to get him presently, you know, but Alexis Sanchez on that left wing, if you could get me that and you could just have a competent striker, I wouldn't mind that still. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, probably dream chasing in all of that, really. You know, really. And then on the topic of strikers, we might as well speak about, like, for me, I can't lie, the number one target would be Karim Adeyemi. I do like Isak. I do like the look of Osimhen as we have, and I feel Osimhen is doing very well at Napoli. It seems like I ain't got his statistics to hand, but it seems like every week he's scoring. You know, it looked like at a point us and Leo got scammed. Us and Napoli got scammed by Leo for Pepe and Osimhen, and Pepe's doing all right, but. You know, Victor is showing his quality, people. He's showing his quality, and you know, he's still got a long way to go. He's still got a long way to go. I've got his stats up here, but I think he started well. You know, again, he done very well to grab them 2 goals against Leicester. You know, he scored against Spartak Moscow. That was a crazy game. Napoli have been part of some crazy games this season, for what it's worth. He started off the season well, 5 goals in 7 games. And he was a player we tried to get when he was a young guy, you know, just making his inroads in Europe, which he's spoken about before. You know, again, not set the world alight for either club here, but he's done all right there, man, you know. 18 goals for Napoli in 40 games. That's just under half, really. And the 4 assists could bump him up. He's got 8 goals in 9 appearances this year. You know, in 31 Serie A games, he's got 15 goals. You know, in Liga, he got 13. So he seems to be quite a mover, but it does seem like his play is going up a level, if that makes sense. It's going up. It really is. And I really like how he can score different goals. He can head, he can run in behind, he can score tap-ins, he can do all of that. He is the young Nigerian international, is someone I'm looking at. The only problem is going to be, bro, he's 22. They spent like 70 million euros. Do Arsenal have that? Is another thing. I would love Karim Adeyemi. It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, either is it, people? So obviously, if you move away from that, start getting into some transfer news. Let's start with, what should we start with, people? Apparently, Mikel Arteta has identified Arsenal's chosen one to replace Lacazette. What one's this? What's here then? Who has he said? Apparently, Luka Jovic has been selected, and is that necessarily true? That's Raheem Sterling. That's you. Where is everything? There is the Luka Jovic one. Apparently, Jovic continues. You know, Arsenal the last said to be interested in him allegedly. Why isn't it scrolling down? He's only played 85 minutes last season. What the hell is going on here? Sorry, folks. Notes has just opened up on my laptop. Yeah, we're back. It's not scrolling down, folks. Oh, here we go. Not going to read all of this, people, but we know Luka Jovic is struggling for football. The 23-year-old has only played 6 games this season, spread over 85 minutes, and is still yet to score. Apparently, he still retains the trust of Carlo Ancelotti. So make of that what you will. I mean, going back to Osimhen, I mean, how can you? This is why football is amazing, folks, man. He was cleaning gutters for 20 naira. however that equivalent is to pounds or dollars, I don't know. But at 22 years of age, this is what football can do for people. And now look, you know, he was cleaning up the streets and things. He's got, you know, selling his sister's oranges. You know, his brother was selling newspapers. The man's a hustler, and you get that in how he plays. And that sort of hunger is something I want at this football club. Football's not a joke for everybody. Football's a way of escaping poverty and these things. And you know, he can score with his head. He is relatively both-footed when it comes to finishing. He's a good player and a player I've got a lot of time for and admiration, people. So yeah, we've spoken about Luka Jovic. I'm trying to specifically try and go through these one by one, people. But as you can see, I've made an absolute mess. So you know, we've been linked with Raheem Sterling as well, who technically is that left winger I've been speaking about. But apparently, four clubs Raheem Sterling could join, with Manchester City start open to exit. You know, he's spoken about going abroad. Arsenal don't have a foggy chance of signing Raheem Sterling. But nonetheless, you know, apparently he could move to Newcastle. Obviously, with what's happened. Real Madrid allegedly looking at him, and we'll speak more about Real Madrid on at Twitch at 3 p.m. Apparently, Arsenal, we've strongly been linked with him. He's previously been coached / mentored by Arteta. Whether that happens is something else. But again, finances, what we could offer him at 26 years of age in terms of sporting honours is a myth. He's actually said he could have a return to Liverpool, people. So it is what it is in that regards. I'm not going to bore you lot with this. But apparently Arsenal have joined Raheem Sterling transfer race with Barcelona. So I'm not going to bore you lot with that. We spoke about Saliba. What have we got here? We spoke about this yesterday, but we clearly looking for a striker because, you know, apparently Arsenal have started scouting this 23-year-old Arthur Cabral, 23 years of age, doing his thing at Basel. Not just us, but Leeds, Tottenham, Everton, West Ham, Brighton, and Southampton are all interested in him. Seems to have decent movement, but I don't know too much beyond that about the individual, people. So it is what it is there. We've been linked with Rabiot. Now, Rabiot, for me, technically, he's a good player. I personally don't want it to happen. If it happens, you know, again, I wouldn't mind it, because if we don't bring in midfielders in January, we're in trouble. But I don't think it's worth it, really. But apparently, Arsenal are looking to take advantage of the frustrations of Rabiot at Juventus by planning a January transfer, according to a report. He's actually spent time in Manchester City's academy. We all know he ran down his PSG contract and joined Juventus. It seems like Juventus want to get rid of a lot of these people. It seems like Ramsey can go. Obviously, my man can leave and things like that. We know Arsenal need a midfielder. Apparently, Arsenal would like to sign the Frenchman in 2022. Mikel Arteta was hoping for a deal in the summer, but those plans could be brought forward in January. Apparently, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is seeking a winter exit, and so is El Nene, who's also going to be at the AFCON, along with Thomas Partey, who's also a midfielder. Apparently, Arteta has faith that Rabiot could revive his career at the Emirates, and he is French, so maybe there is an element of that. The report points to the Gunners' record of taking on players who have fallen to the frings at other clubs, and it's obviously given the example of Martin Odegaard. Apparently, now there is apparently a belief that Rabiot could be energized with a change of scenery, and he's got a year left on his contract from next year. So this is obviously another one where bulk of things are happening. At 26 years of age, you know, if he wants to get his career back on side and Arteta wants him and whatnot, I wouldn't mind him. But for me, I think there's better options we could do that give us a bit more clarity. And he comes with a lot of baggage. We know his mum's not afraid to speak, and you know he's going to come and want decent wages. Is it necessarily worth it? I don't know. You lot will have to draw that conclusion for me, people. Let's move away from all of this. Let's start closing things down as well. We'll speak about Vieira and Ben White in a second, but that's where transfer business is concerned, people. So that's 52:25. Transfer news. Rabiot, Jovic. Oh, in fact, I'm actually where is the other one? There's actually one more, people. Where is it? Because we've been linked. Simic has been, you know, who plays for Salzburg on loan at FC Liefering. I can never say their name, but he's been linked with a move to Arsenal. The 18-year-old, you know, he's about 6'3" odds. You know, he's been compared to Mandzukic. You know, for me, he makes good runs. He's got good link-up play. Shown he's got an eye for goal. Still a lot to learn about the 18-year-old, but I like what I see from him. Apparently, Arsenal scouts tell Arteta to make move for Tottenham's 7 million striker, and he is decent. He's good at shielding the ball, can bring other players into play. He's not a bad player at all. But apparently Arsenal are now battling Tottenham Hotspur for the signing of RB Red Bull Salzburg striker Rocco Simic in a move worth around 7 million plus add-ons. You know, he's the son of Dario Simic, who used to play for AC Milan. How ironic is that? You know, you've given birth to a striker and you as a defender. He just didn't want to listen to his dad from day dot, innit? But yeah, you know, for me, he's got resale value. For me, it's a bit of a cheat code, but I try and pay attention to anyone who's at Salzburg and anybody that's at been at loan at their sister clubs, FC Liefering, I believe, because like with Karim Adeyemi, these are the guys. And he's on loan currently, so he won't be playing for Salzburg. Needs to show he can score consistently. Only 18, but as I said, you know, he can score with his head. Good link-up play, makes good runs. Not the quickest, but not necessarily slow either. Comes from a good family in terms of footballing pedigree. Son of an AC Milan defender. You know, when you look at his upbringing, you know, I know he's technically born in Italy and there's been some sort of apprenticeship he served there at some level, but he's played at a couple decent clubs in his homeland, at least, though, even though the fact he's been there as a kid, that gives you a good education, people. Like, if I go on his Wikipedia page, and he's been linked with West Ham and all of these teams, so it's going to spark a bidding war, people. But, you know, he's been at Dynamo Zagreb and Lokomotiv Zagreb. They give you good footballing education, so I know his footballing IQ is relatively high, people. And at £8 million or 7 million plus add-ons, you can, you know, it's foolproof. You can make your profit. What you don't want to do is wait until these guys do the Karim Adeyemi thing, and then, you know, we've sat here for years and talked about Karim Adeyemi. It's a myth now. He's called up to Germany and them things there. As you lot can see here, people, he's at the he's currently at Salzburg's feeder club, where he's, you know, serving his apprenticeship, and he's got 7 goals in 10 appearances. Apparently, the Arsenal rumor comes days after Tottenham have been linked with a move. As you know, Karim Adeyemi, Patson Daka, Haaland, all of these guys have been involved at Salzburg, so it could be something there, people. But we're not alone in the race. He's probably getting a lot of admirers. Probably wait and see mode, if I'm honest with you. Let him develop a bit, see what he's on, and then make a move. But it is, well, it is there, people. Well, that was, I don't know why I clicked that, but yeah, that's where we're at with that, really. So it is, well, it is. That was 55-30. So yeah, make sure we're hitting the like button, people, and we're setting our reminders not only on Twitch, but we're also setting our reminders for Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. What else are you lot saying? Let's move. We were linked with Osik at one time. Why not get him? Shout out to what he did against Spurs, but dead. DG, how's your Linton looking like the only player to keep in the Newcastle rebuild in yesterday's game? Like I said on Twitch, he smells the money and the parties are turning on his... Probably, you know, that's the best game I've seen from Joe Linton in a minute. I would keep Holding as a backup centre-back, sell Marie and Chambers this summer, and get a 5th/6th choice centre-back pairing. We need to sell Lacquer in January or the summer window. We need a striker in the summer, I think you was going to say. Fair place. Would Isaac be your first-choice striker to replace Lacazette/Eddie or someone else? I mean, it'd be Karim Adeyemi, but Isaac would be up there without a doubt. Yo, Linton was fire before the Prem. You're lying to yourself. He was definitely not fire at Hoffenheim. I remember him vividly at Hoffenheim because Nelson was on loan. You're definitely not telling the truth there. Would you take Rafinha as a Pepe replacement? I think he's going to explode this season. Pause. I mean, I'm a big fan of the 24-year-old Rafinha, so yeah, but he's going to cost an arm and a leg. Yeah, we need to start moving early for these players, buying and sending them on loan. Yeah, I like that Harrison guy. Not really seen enough to be a stan of his, but yeah. DG, would you take St. Maximin at Arsenal for that left wing spot? I think we miss a winger with elite pace and dribbling. We do, but he needs a lot of work. I would like someone with a bit of a higher IQ. I wouldn't go for Rabiot. He's rejected us many a time. Rabiot, the eternal tease. Facts. Arteta doesn't understand how French players are very political. He'll get destroyed by Rabiot's mum. To be fair to you, he did play for PSG. So maybe he's more educated than people give him credit for. Guendouzi 2.0. Rabiot would be on massive wages, and he's honestly a better option and upgrade on Guendo. Rabiot is technically good, but he has a crappy attitude. I don't want that idiot. Don't want Rabiot. Older Guendouzi, his mum will be an issue. Sterling doesn't match up with the recent young transfers in. To be fair, 26 years of age would be good. Would you take Jovic or Jimenez at Arsenal, DG? Van Dam, you know, I wouldn't mind Jimenez, to be fair with you. I would take Jovic. Why not? Rafael could be a shout to be looking at. And you're right, Osimhen's been that guy since the under-17 World Cup that year. Would love to see him in an Arsenal shirt. And obviously, there'd be an epic pool, obviously, Nigerian fan base and whatnot. I don't rate Is that too tough? That's harsh, Tino, man. Chiesa would be the dream signing. Dream is where it's going to stay. You're right. Vlahovic could be someone to throw into it. There's bare strikers, and I hope we're looking at strikers that none of us have even said, because these guys have got to start somewhere. You know, there's always a lot of half of the names we're saying. There's been Uman and Arin. Isaac's taken a while to come to the boil. You know, Osimhen's been on the scene. Someone said Rafa Leao. He's doing well at Milan. Someone else to look at. You know, not Karim Adeyemi. He's just been a baller. You know, Jovic had a purple patch at Frankfurt. There was a time where I wasn't really behind it, but some of you were screaming to sign, what's his face, man? What's that guy, man? Andre Silva. I think he's a fraud, but it is what it is. I don't honestly get the Ben White hate. Find me a top class centre back that doesn't make mistakes. Do we forget the whole show that was our defense for the last 5 years? Anyone? I don't think I don't think you're talking directly at me, because I clearly don't hate Ben White, but I do think there's just people out to get him, and we've seen it with every good game. He's worth 50 mil. With every bad game, he's overrated. That's what's going to happen, man. Do you know what it is? Ben White has to make peace with the fact that that's what's going to happen. They're just going to chat about, man. I'm not going to be able to probably ever justify this price tag. At best, people just have to stop talking about it. And that's actually, it might help him that he's not so, I don't want to say he's not emotionally invested in football, because I know his comments are going to be taken left and right with what Ben White said, with what Ben White obviously said about not watching football and stuff. But when you're so absorbed with football, it might hurt you more. He's able to switch off. So it's something there. So that's something to consider. Patrick Vieira has allegedly spoken about Ben White's comments. So I think that's something we could look at. You know, I don't think a lot of hysteria has been made over it, people, if I'm honest with you. But it is what it is. Why is it not sharing screen? Apologies, people. Don't know why the screen isn't sharing, but Arsenal ace Ben White comes under fire from Patrick Vieira for Thierry Henry difference. Let's scroll all the way down. He's come under fire after admitting he doesn't watch much football. I mean, you want players to show personality. He's told the truth. There's an issue there. Trying to scroll the way down. He said, it matters. Watching games shows the passion and love you have. Thierry would watch any kind of game in any country, in any league, in any country, which is true. I'm like that. But I'm sure, Vieira, you also had many international friends and colleagues and whatnot that maybe were of Henry's standard or in the international scene that didn't give a crap about football like that. But anyways, he said he knew everything about the game. I played with Cesc Fabregas, and the Spanish players watch games every day. It's a different culture here in England, not better, not worse. But in France or Spain, players watch football. Also Italy, where I played as well. And maybe that's why, in general, English fans have terrible shouts. Like, man, they're saying Neymar's a YouTube baller. Messi can't do it in England. You know, England. And maybe that's why, you know, a lot of the way we look at football is behind the other people. Like, for instance, you know, you can be an absolute shit player and actually be disruptive to your team. But if you're running around clattering into, man, people love you in England. Other countries, people are like, what the hell are you doing? You know, it's only in England where you got to look busy for the sake of looking busy. And I think Ben White, I actually think the way he plays football is more continental, is more closely aligned to probably Spanish way of defending than it is English. I'm not saying other things, but you get it. It does make a difference. It does improve your IQ. But Ben White didn't say he didn't watch football. You know, he just said, I don't watch it when I go home. Well, it is what it is, people. You know, it is true. You know, it is true. He said, well, you know, Ben White said, I never watched the game. And I mean, football's just been a hobby for man. That's why you see it for what it's with. Patrick Vieira's also said, Patrick Vieira insists Arsenal's lack of true midfield leaders since his exit is as much down to their support network as it is to the individuals. Let's see what he said here. This sounds a bit interesting, doesn't it? When I was playing, I had Petit and Gilberto next to me and Edu in midfield. That was a really good partnership. And I mean, Edu was a midfielder. He knows his teammates. He knows Arsenal struggle. Why are we even talking about midfield at Arsenal? That's the problem in itself. But you're right. Quality options. Pardon me, the new players may not have had those players around them who allowed them to express themselves. I had Bergkamp, Omri ahead of me, Sol Campbell and Martin Keown and Tony behind me. They all made my job even easier. So it's difficult to be critical of players who maybe didn't have the same help around them. And we know it's not the same caliber of players. And obviously, on Vieira, we've just spoken about that. He was perplexed with what was going on with Ben White's comments. But it is what it is, you know. Hopefully, he gets a fantastic reception when he returns. And I hope that's where it ends, though, where he's concerned, though. I'll be real with you 100%. So that's that. DG, who you starting up top, Lack or Aubameyang? Today, I'd probably still start Aubameyang, but this is Aubameyang's last opportunity. If you don't score or have a real standout game, then I think against Aston Villa, you've got to move towards Lacazette getting the look in, and then it's Lacazette's shirt to lose. Please give all the new signings time. Come on. F these dislikes, don't give him any energy. Facts. Matip or Ben White. Matip's a better centre half than Ben White. He's a better reader of the game, without a doubt, at this moment in time. No disrespect to Ben White. You know, he's not as name brand and all these things, but undoubtedly he's a better centre half than Ben White. But saying that, you know, it is what it is, man. Yeah, broski, but I'm also... Sorry, people just trying to put up stuff. Man doesn't watch football. Makes sense. He doesn't seem like he doesn't. But to be fair with you, yeah, there was a time where I wasn't. Obviously, I'm Mr. Football now, innit? I watch all sorts of football at all levels. But there was a time where it's Sunday League, yes. But when I'm playing for Edmonton All Stars and whatnot, I'm not watching football. Man, I watch the Champions League. I would have watched Arsenal. I watch when the Drillers were playing, but I wasn't watching ball. I was playing ball. So I understand there are people that just play ball and stuff like that. I do think it affects their opinions and their IQ and stuff, but there are some people that just play ball, you know? Not everyone's obsessed. Other people have other passions. And as much as I feel you should be watching ball and whatnot, you know, I would be interesting to ask Ben White, who do you think are the best centre halves in the world right now? Who do you think have been them for the last 5 years? Because for me, if you care about your occupation, you know these things. I'm not saying he doesn't. But the one thing I feel sorry for is, you know, we talk about footballers showing personality. The man shows some and he's being killed. Ben White don't look it to me as a Chelsea fan. Plays like a lightweight Eric Dyer. Our squad is too young. In Jan in the summer, we need some experienced players. I'd say the right experienced players because we've signed guys that are 26 plus and they've been shit. 16 games unbeaten. I was chatting the most. We all were, man. It's like they were watching how you do negotiations in FM and followed that for Guendouzi's contract. We have to keep Lacazette. African Cup of Nations is coming soon. Arsenal and Liverpool going to feel it the most. Arsenal probably feel it a bit more than Liverpool. Tony was bullying Chelsea. Bro, Tony's a baller, man. Mikel needs to improve his man management style. Should Matteo stay? Matteo isn't the first bad boy, not the worst ever. The Canio was way worse, but his manager knew he had to put his arm around, and that's true. But I would say, I know you're not saying it, but Guendouzi's no Di Canio. DG, in your opinion, which two realistic targets should we get into and cement a top 4 position? Broski, Malik. I don't think there is 2 players that we could ever sign, and I think, yeah, we're top 4 contenders, unless you're bringing in Lionel Messi, and without, you know, we're going to get ridiculous. I think we are far off top 4. I don't think from a tactical point of view, technical point of view, Arsenal are far off top 4. I think you just need to get a couple more names. Obviously, system, all of these things needs to improve. How far Arsenal off top 4? I think it's in terms of street smartness, in terms of understanding, if we've got 5 games, we need to win so and so because our opponents are doing so and so. Just street smartness and knowing the league and experience, not just terms of age. I think, you know, experience in terms of just, you know, playing football. I think that's where we'll struggle. But I do think if you bring in a centre middle too, you know, if you was to bring in Aouar and Karim Adeyemi, for me, we might sit there and think, yo, it is what it is. But I don't think we're 2 signings off there. I think personally, if we was to just keep it signings, speaking for myself, nobody's scoring goals. I think you need a striker. I think you need 2 centre midfielders. This is all people that I'm looking at starting games. 2 centre mids that do the Xhaka thing better. You know, 2 of them sort of man. Striker / left winger. Someone that's going to be a talisman. And then I'd say if you was to whittle it down, just based on what I've seen so far this season, back up, right back. I know there's a couple players that can play there, but back up, right back. I would personally say as well, maybe a competent utility player, someone that can be like Milner and just fill in places. Goalie, again, with what's going on with Leno, If Ramsdale injures himself tomorrow, what's going on? If Ramsdale and Leno both suffer injuries, what happens then? So I would say them really. So strike, I would say centre mid for me, the main one, but centre mid and scoring goals would be that. Without talking about the obvious of what we need to do tactically, system, whether the manager can do it, all of these sort of things, I'd go with that. Please make sure we're hitting the like button and setting our reminders for later, people. 143 likes, 200 odd locked in. You can do better than that. Ben White's not scrappy enough. Ben White's a pretty boy, man. There's nothing wrong with that. He's a pretty boy, but I think people are onto him. He can't help his price tag, and that's just gonna draw him out. But I got thingies in him. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a utility player, but I said to James Milner's standard, he's not to James Milner's standard, bro. James Milner can do a good job. I know his legs are leaving him now, but centre mid, right back, wherever. DG still think as long as we've got Arteta, we won't get into the top 6. Would you sell Aubameyang to Newcastle if they come in for in January? What's your thoughts? I mean, if they make you an offer that you can't refuse, why not? But then everyone knows you need to sign a striker. Are you gonna get one? Ben White has improved Arsenal. Let's give him time to step up further as well. Maguire was more expensive, but I don't see banter on his price tag. Listen, I can't speak for the wider fan base, but I can only speak for this hour or so we've been here. I don't think anyone's got at Ben White without offering opinions. I definitely don't feel Ben White has necessarily improved Arsenal off his own back. I'd say Ramsdale's improved it. I'd say Gabriel's improved Ben White. I wouldn't say Ben White's improved our defense at all yet. Maguire gets bantered about his price tag all the time. And plus, Maguire is irrelevant to what's going on where I'm concerned. I don't give a flying fuck about Maguire because he doesn't play for Arsenal Football Club, really and truly. But there is elements of Ben White being able to take a leaf out of Maguire's book in that, Maguire hasn't been bad all the time for United, saying that we all saw the weekend. If you just do your job, man, don't care about your price tag, really, Ben will be a good player, but to make points, we don't need to lie to ourselves. Ben White alone has not taken this defense to a better level. He's not it don't look like a 50 billion pound man. Again, Gabriel probably does. And that's not me trying to criticize him. I believe in Ben White, but let's be serious, man. Good opinions, people. I'm scrolling through all of them. I don't want to miss anyone else. This is like I always say, I'm very appreciative of you lot, people, because without you lot, there'll be no point sitting here. You lot generally, there's a lot of interesting conversations. You lot make it a pleasure. Time always flies. This is why I'm here every day. We're back again at 3 p.m, people. Make sure you're here. And, have I dropped a Twitch link in there yet? Let me do that for you lot. It's absolute fantastic footy chat, even if some are overdoing it. Hopefully win the double win. Hopefully with the double win Monday/Friday, we can be full for 12 hours. But I think we need a full revamp of our strikers. Aubameyang, Eddie, Laka to go. Probably true, to be fair. And it sounds cliche. It's 2 cup finals this week. Again, a serious team takes 6 points. A serious team walks away with 4 points. Boy, knowing Arsenal, we could get 6 points. We could get none. We could get 2. We could get 1. We could get 3. This is a joyous thing. And for me, I want 6 points. I hope they've watched several times the game we lost we dropped points to Palace. Because for the last few years, some of you guys have been playing Palace week in, week out, year in, year out, and suffered setbacks. Put that to bed today, innit? I want a victory against Villa. Villa have had our number. Absolutely had our number. Go on, put in a performance. And they dropped points at the weekend. They lost 3 points out. They had 3 points in their grasp. Dean Smith isn't going to be happy with that. Obviously, Martinez is playing his old team. You know how them man are, man. At least St. Maximin is a crowd pleaser. I need more entertainment, excitement. I mean, I got that with Pepe, bro, but I don't want that anymore, man. I just want to win game. I hear you, man. Would you take Bruno Guimaraes at Arsenal? Facts, without a doubt. I'll be honest, I have no idea what Rabiot is actually good at, and I've been watching him for years now. Same, like he's good at stuff, but I don't know what he's very good at. Like he can pass a ball, we can do a little dribbling thing, but what are you known for, sort of thing? I feel you. Might as well just get Draxler at this point. Hey, we've been linked with him for about 50 years. Might as well. EG, appreciate that. Joey, I'm not really the biggest fan of Foyesberg, so I'd personally leave that one away. Guendouzi has potential to be better than Rabiot, but both has attitude problems, so why not keep Guendouzi? There isn't any Ben White hate. Just waiting to see before making a decision on how we feel. Let's not be reactionary. I do think there is Ben White hate, but I get you, man. And it's right. Ben White never set his own price tag, and that's why you can't. That's why you can't focus on that. Just do your job. Just play ball. Simple as that. And that's where I was saying the fact that he says he's not as, again, I don't want to say he's dedicated to football because he is, but he's not as emotionally invested in being a footballer, in football, sorry, past being a professional footballer, training and all of these things. Maybe that will help him because obviously other men that are Ben White and like someone like me that's absorbed with football, I might start watching other things. I might go there and start looking at, what a Sky Sports said about me and things. That's one thing I see with Ben White. It's like football is my life. Football's important, but it's like, you get me? Like, man's human at the end of the day. I love Vieira, but he needs to just mention Crystal Palace right now. Anyone else forget we have Martinelli? Surely he has to get minutes today. Well, you did hear he picked up a minor injury. There are rumors he has trained, and we'll have to see at 7 o'clock if he's, or unless you got some information, if he's in the match day squad today. So we'll have to see, man. I never used to enjoy watching football as much as I did playing. Only as I got older, it switched around. Exactly, bro. Man, don't like, come on, bro. And to be honest with you, I said it before, bro. What Ben White said, you go, honestly, you'll be surprised. There's pundits that are on Sky Sports every day. They've said themselves, both man are not getting paid to watch football. I'm not watching it. Why do you think we see some of these guys come out with these outdated opinions? Them man, they are not dedicated. Only very few players are shopaholics like that and footballholics. As for, you know, as for Cotto, you have to rate you have to rate his thing. He was just here for peace. Like, he's like, listen, man's here for the bread. That's why I rate Evra, because he wasn't just on bread, but he said, I remember when they said, how comes you ain't retired? He said, I got too many family members. I need to kick ball. Like, it's crazy, man. I like watching football, but this period of football has been dead, in my opinion. I'm not forcing myself to watch games. Only Arsenal right now in the champs. Me, I'll always watch football, but yeah, man, football's gone down the toilet. Defending, you can't defend again. You know, the things people are praised for is ridiculous. I wouldn't say football isn't about numbers, but it is. But you know, people just use numbers and trophies to support arguments. They don't look at the individuals. Football's not about being an artist anymore. These footballers are just robots now. Yeah, it's dead, man. It's bad. There's bare dead things in football. Bare dead. There's bare jargon in football nowadays. Football's not what it used to be, man. And I've given up on football personally. I love it, but I always tell my brethren, it's like, I don't even think rivalry soon dead. They don't matter if you support Arsenal, Spurs, United, whatever. It's becoming NBA. Like, and we need to, it's sad, but we need to just accept the game's gone. Like, the game we knew is gone. It's a different thing now. I don't know what this is. You know, soon we're going to see 11 strikers. There's going to be, every week I look in the Prem and I'm like, or any other league, and I'm like, defending's dying, man. Defending's dying. Like, there's no point, because defenders are shit anyways in today's day and age generally, and then the refs are just further and further punishing them. It's all crazy. Word, there was a time where I didn't watch football for ages, but El Nene made me fall in love with the game again. Shout out the best Egyptian within the Premier League, man. It's only in England that fans rave about a player for being busy for the sake of looking busy. It is. It is. You know, in England, you could be shit and just run around and fly, and they say stuff like, he knows the club, he knows what the league's about, he plays with his heart on his sleeve, all these things to overcompensate, man. What's your opinion on players still taking the knee? Well, if we're honest with ourselves, the knee is just another token gesture, bro. It's like saying no to racism. You know, it is what it is. Past that, it's nonsense. I do find it weird that some individuals have so much energy to tell people to stop taking the knee, though. I think that's very telling in itself. It's not doing anything, is it? The knee's not doing anything. Like, still, I don't agree with them being shut up about it. If they want to take the knee in it. But this knee thing ain't doing nothing. It don't matter if we knee, if I call one of my white friends, my mixed race brethren, my Indian brother who's brown, and we all say no to racism, we put all our skin complexions next to each other and say kumbaya, it's dead. Like, that ain't gonna save nothing. It's gonna sound great, but ain't gonna do much. Do you rate Dali Almo? Yep. All right, NKUNKU's a shout as well. Would love to see NKUNKU come through. Never want to see Rabiot at Arsenal in my lifetime, says Jamie. NKUNKU, to be fair, Edu tried tell us about NKUNKU, innit? He tried. I mean, Emre tried bust us, and he's been scoring goals. He's been looking a bit more complete. You know, NKUNKU might be someone or something for Arsenal to consider. You're right, 100% in that regards, man. Again, January is difficult to do business. Saying that, we have bought people in business in January. We've done last couple of Januaries. We've arguably done in January what we should have done in the summer, more time. But yeah, man, it's one of them ones. And NKUNKU's an avenue to explore. Our was a miss. How many of us love our own jobs and know everything about our companies and positions? And I would also say, to add that to what you're saying about Ben White, also, how many do you know about the other companies and all these things? And what's going on just in the industry and industry changes and things? Football's already a 24-hour job, and hands-on as it is, I can't blame a man for wanting to switch off and do other things. Do you think we'd be better off playing a back three with Xhaka in the middle for now and Ben White and Gabby either side? Nah, G. I'd love Lucas Paqueta. I mean, he's very skillful. I'd sell Chambers and Marie to fund a move for Koulibaly. Can't believe no one has snapped him up yet. We need someone who has top tier and experience like him. Personally, I think we're cushy for centre halves, but fair play. Gabriel and Tini are the real deal in the Arsenal backline. Everyone else is kind of suspect. Bit harsh on Tomiyasu, but I hear that. Bissouma ain't it. He's being charged for assault, sexual assault. We are 5 players short of being top 4. This Palace game is going to be interesting. They'll be hard to break down. How many times have we said that with Palace? Hopefully we do this thing, man. We be here all the time, bro. DG Nation strong. Come on, Joey. They can't stop us, man. Tomiyasu is going to prove key to our game. He makes that 3 at the back in possession. True. TT Ramsdale been great for us so far. Harry Maguire is meaty. We say Saliba is coming to play first team football, but we're not benching Gabriel or Ben White, so he'll be back up. We're also saying about another attacker, but we already have Pepe on the bench. Football's a squad game for the 25-man players, and I think as you've seen in these last 7 to 8 games, everyone can get a chance. Some games are accustomed to everyone, to other players. I mean, that was the same logic where some fans said we can't sign Odegaard or anyone because we've got Smith Rowe, where we could use either or, we could use 2. There's many different things. And Saliba, I mean, he'll probably come back being third choice, but go and complicate things. Go and complicate things. Go and make yourself first choice. Again, you look at most clubs. We're not City, but City have probably 3 centre halves that are quality in Ramsdale, in Stones, Laporte, and Diaz. Now, there's been times Stones has complicated things, which isn't the case at this moment in time. That Diaz, since he's gone to that team, immovable. Laporte's had times where he's been really unplayable. So go and do that. Go and give Arteta a headache. And who knows, if Saliba comes and certifies himself, Arteta doesn't need a license to go and start putting people in weird positions. You might see Ben White get them opportunities in midfield and right back like Arsenal fans thought at the start of his campaign. I mean, Thiago's gone, bro. What do you feel about Tim Akinola's progressing this year? I personally feel he has the potential to be a decent utility player for this club. Because of his skill set, he might get an opportunity because he's like, more aligned to a Partey Lokonga. He might. Personally, I don't think he's going to quite make the grade, but Arsenal should make decent profit on him when the time comes. I respect players who still take the knee. At least you don't give up on racism. That's still going on. Racism is real. To be fair to you, I wouldn't say you're giving up on racism for not taking the knee. I don't respect people like Alonso doing things like that because you haven't even spoken to your teammates. And it's almost an unwritten, it's almost a certain irony in the privilege that you can take the forefront of this. But when I see a man like Zaha come out and say, no, fuck this is dead. Really, man. It's the stats nerds who F up football. Because you know what it is with stats? It's not even just stats nerds. It's people who don't understand football, people that approach things with no context. You can go and find statistics that can support any agenda. But if you don't know what you're looking for, it's a problem. Even when it comes to signing players and all these sort of things, man, it's crazy. But I mean, DG Nation, we're the one beacon of hope, man. In a day and age where they're just bare nonsense, man. Tomiyasu will get a proper test today if Zaha turns up. Yep. Did you see Arteta's comments on Guendouzi? What's your opinion? I offered my opinion, but I mean, he's not going to come out and say, no, Guendouzi's future is done. He didn't do it with Torreira last year. He didn't do it with a single player that was on loan. He never, even though we knew Joe Willock was going to keep it moving, we never knew until he actually left that, it's over for him at Arsenal Football Club. So I don't think you can ever rule out anyone or anything. anywhere, if that makes sense. You can't play football on your knees. All right, my guy. Not sure if you've spoken on this, DG, but did you see the pride and determination displayed by Brentford against Chelsea? I was so impressed that I kept screaming and hoping our players were watching. Broski, nothing needs to be said, Banky. You said it all there. You know, if you have heart, desire, and determination, anything can happen. You know, Brentford on one hand, I think they let themselves down for the goal they conceded. Very unlucky not to score. Lucky that Mendy was playing amazing where Chelsea's concerned. I do feel, and I'm going to speak about this tomorrow in the DG podcast, I do think Chelsea have looked a bit lackluster in a lot of their games. They definitely were lucky to just get all 3 points. But I feel there's another thing that annoys me about football. People can't look at many truths. It's like, you know, yeah, Chelsea could have done better, but you can't sit there and say Brentford have been performing well, been doing this and that, and then, you know, not really give praise to Chelsea, saying, listen, they went to Griffin Park, which Arsenal failed to get points from. Liverpool failed to. Brentford have been a hard outfit and walked away with the points. Crazy, man. Haven't seen enough of Tomiyasu to put in with Tierney and Gabriel. That's fair enough. Fair enough. You can only talk on what you've seen. You know, jury is still out. You know, jury is still out because he weren't terrible against Brighton, but tough period. Think him and Saka needed to do a lot better for the goal we conceded against Spurs. Not just them, but everybody. Actually feel Saka defensively needs to switch on a bit, because whether it's he's playing on the left like Tierney like against Chelsea, or against Spurs, switched off. Even Newcastle nearly got a point just from passion. I mean, they got brought back to reality. They thought they could just turn up for 4 minutes and that in it. You know, that was a great start. That was a good game of football, to be fair with you. A very good game of football. And it's the one brilliant thing about ball. 157 likes, people. 204 of you locked in. Please keep running those things up. What else have we got? I mean, we've covered that. Hey man, we've actually spoken about a lot. Don't forget to like and subscribe. 100%. What's your prediction for the game, DG? I'm going to go with 2-1 Arsenal. It's never plain sailing where Crystal Palace are concerned. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I think Smith Rowe's got a goal in him. I'm going to say a Aubameyang goal because I'm hoping that. My ideal signing would be Asensio. I mean, I wouldn't say ideal, but I wouldn't mind that, man. It's because they're expected to win the game regardless of their form. Of course, that's true. Stinky draw. Hope not. Hope not. Whoever plays right, whoever's playing right wing, I think you're saying, needs to put in a shift in defense to help TT, because it's going to be tough. And I mean, you'd imagine that's Bukayo Saka in it. And I must admit, when it comes to the lineup, check out my Arsenal versus Palace preview for more. But I must admit, when it comes to the lineup, I'm a bit conflicted, because I kind of want to go with, I want to bring Pepe in, and I would say you either go with Odegaard and Partey in a pivot, bring Smith Rowe into that 10 role, and then you free up the wide position for Pepe, or, you know, you go Lokonga, Partey, and Odegaard, or Smith Rowe, and free them up. But I do think not a damn thing's going to change. I think he's going to go Smith Rowe on the flanks, Odegaard there. I don't think he wants to move away from having both of them in the team. So I think he's going to go with them. I think Saka on the right. I think Aubameyang will go through the middle. I think it'll be more or less what we expect. I don't think there'll be any changes too tough. But again, for me in particular, you know, anyone who doesn't take their chances, I think Pepe pushing for a start in his next game. I'd say if Aubameyang don't take his opportunities, probably has to sit on the bench for the Villa game, people, if that makes sense. On the Friday. What games am I doing tomorrow? Sorry, people just trying to pattern the graphics done. It's mad. I'll go with the Burnley lineup. To be fair, if I'm ARTETA, I'm choosing players I know I can rely on at this time. And that's it. That's it in all, you know, rightly or wrongly, you know, you're going to do that. That's why I understand Smith Rowe and Odegaard. I just think, I always say it, there's games where you need both. I think there's games where you need to drop one out, like maybe Brighton, in hindsight. Smith Rowe was the better player in that game. Could we have not started Odegaard? But again, is what it is. Lineups, DG, preferred, or what you think Arteta would go with? I just said that indirectly. But to do it again, my lineup: Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, Tierney, Odegaard, Partey, Smith Rowe, Pepe, Saka, Aubameyang. What I think he'll go with is, Ramsdale, the same back five I've just named. I think he will go with Lokonga and Partey, or he might do. I think that means Odegaard will play in the 10. Smith Rowe will stay out wide. Saka will be on the right. Aubameyang through the middle. Aubameyang with braids and a headband is so dead. Braided Aubameyang, I don't trust that mode, boy. Would love to see Lokonga score, says Owen. Maybe we should go with Aubameyang and Laka up front. Nah, I'm not really on it, man. Arsenal just tweeted an update of Xhaka saying he's aiming to be back in full training in early 2022. Boy. So what, is that a setback then? My maths is poor, but is that a setback then? Swear that's a setback then. I could be wrong. I could be lying, but I swear that's a setback. But anyways, thanks for notifying me on that, Jamie. As you lot can see here, the latest on Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka, as you know, injured his right knee. Granit is making good progress in the initial stages of his recovery from a medial knee ligament injury sustained on September 26th. The current aim is for Xhaka to be back in full training early in the new year. All other players in the men's first team squad are currently fit and available for selection, with all players returning from international duty with no significant current issues. As part of Premier League protocol, all members of our first team squad and support staff continue to be regularly tested for COVID-19. So what does that tell you? That must tell you that first things first, what we kind of spoke about earlier in Martinelli. Martinelli must be fit then. He seems to have got over this minor injury and probably will take his place up on the bench, really. And nice to see everybody's fit. Nice to see Granit Xhaka is obviously, doing his thing in terms of getting fit again. You never want to see anybody injured. Simple as that. No, he was initially out for 4 months. Yeah, so my maths is terrible then. But to be fair with Xhaka, he'll be back sooner rather than later. Man United has crazy fixtures coming up in the next few weeks. We could be above them come end of the month. To be fair, we need, like the Premier League, like you've seen, we need to take our chances. Smith Rowe up top. Raji, are you Arteta in disguise? Are you the one who played him up there against Villarreal in the semi-finals last year? No more left-footed attackers for now, please. Yemi's left foot, but okay. What we say, Martinelli stopped hiding. I mean, he's probably in the same hiding space as the man in your display picture. I ain't seen it. Didn't see that brother against Leicester. Love G1, man. I had to come out the blocks building. I had to come out the blocks fast with that one, man. Almost didn't have time to think. Them United fans, whenever I say Martinelli, they're always about. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Come on. It's mine. Bruno Guimaraes will be holding his spot down in Jan. Praying emoji. I hope so, JB, man. Your score prediction against Palace, I'm going with 2-1 Arsenal, bro. Bears, so Man United saving Man City again. They did it. They tried to buy Fred, said no. Tried to buy Alexis. United got involved. Ronaldo looked like he's going City, boy. Looks like he's saving them, man. There, like he's saving them. You don't need to tell. I heard Wan-Bissaka is still slide tackling to this day and age right now, man. It's all Monday and that. I can't lie, man. Shout out to you, man. This guy kills me. Martinelli needs to start playing though. We ain't got much agendas to really run. I can't. Well, the streets are saying Ben White's got more clean sheets than Champions League Rafael Varane. Mud. Man, like Booker T. Yeah, trust me, best spinneroonies, bro. He's saying, DG, we do it tomorrow, watching elite teams play, and Wednesday. Yeah, man, Champions League is that, mighty PSG. We got things to be doing, man. By the time we sign a partner for Partey, we'll be considering a partner for him because Partey will be finished, probably, in Arsenal. I'd like Laka to start tonight and Oba coming off the bench. Arguably, there's every right to say that. John Joe Shelby, no. No. That's not one for Arsenal still. Myth. Ladder. 2-0 to Palace. Look at this guy, the Chelsea fan. I need more positivity on my live streams, man. I don't want to lose, man. Arsenal fans, we've been running too much jokes, enjoying football way too much this weekend, man. Just don't want to lose, man. Let's just avoid the L. Simple as that. If we can avoid the L, we might be able to do something serious, man. Is what it is. Please make sure you're setting your reminders for the watch along later, people. Why do I feel like I've forgotten to do something? I feel like I've forgotten to do something, but is what it is. Fred would be balling out under Pep. I don't know, man. I don't even think Pep would help that one, but that guy is a serious for them, and they South America. I don't want to be that guy, but I find it very hard to believe you're Brazilian. I can't lie. Anyone that watched the Brazil highlights, did you see Paqueta and Neymar? They're all doing the flicks. Fred tried to get involved. The man said Partey bagging a hat-trick tonight, all from 25 yards or more. To be fair, it's Partey's time, man. You know, he went off to Ghana. I don't know what Partey double agent that was, but he seemed to have found the shooting boots. Hey, Fred killed that phase of plays, boy, in it. Stock's gone completely in Maguire. To be fair, yeah. If I was Maguire, I'd hate fans, you know, because I was poor. I did Kalam stuff, but, bro, I wasn't fit, you know. I've got fit to play for you. Like, I'm not in full standard, and you, man, are just rubbing me out. Myth. I hear Pepe is starting tonight, so we'll definitely like Lacquer up top. I don't know what's going on. 2-1 Arsenal, Saka and Oba. Thomas is getting close. It's gonna happen. Hopefully, you know. Hopefully, I'm you know, a bit more hopeful than me. I don't know if Partey's ever gonna quite bag because it is what it is. But yeah, man, I don't know. I really don't know. It's a scary one. It's a scary one for true people, man. It really is. Make sure we're hitting those like buttons if we haven't already. What else are you guys saying? Ollie out, boy. This week is peak for Ollie, man. You got Liverpool in the weekend. You got Atalanta, boy. Pardon me, it's now or never, innit? I would want Pepe to start. I've been saying that, man. He does it every game. You're right, though. If you cost 80 million, you should be able to play on one leg about not half fit, to be fair. That's what man want. I just hope we string a performance like the Spurs game tonight and hope that it's not just a one-off due to it being a derby. It's just I don't know what to expect from our team and Arteta already, and our Arteta DG. You've said it there. We've been saying for years, you don't know what Arsenal's going to turn up. And to be honest with you, I haven't learned anything that I didn't know last season. Arsenal haven't, apart from that back five, we're the same sort of rhetoric for me, because even beating Spurs, we was doing them things last year. We beat Spurs, we beat United at Old Trafford. We did all right against Chelsea. You know, we turned it. We beat Leicester away. There was a couple isolated incidences, but the thick of it, the 38-game period, for every performance like that, there was calamities. Or games where you should have won, you drawn. Games you shouldn't have lost, you lost. And, you know, all of these sort of things. In your opinion, DG, what has to happen for Man United to fire Oli? Bro, he has to keep doing this. The players have to turn on, man. You know, all it probably just Ronaldo has to say, listen, it's time now, innit? If it carries on like that, he has to. There's too much money's been spent. He's been given a new contract. So I don't know if he's as close to getting sacked as we fans, the sentiment is around. But yeah, I can't lie. I want Jadon Sancho to improve, but he's just looking rubbed. I mean, they always say the first 6 months are the toughest for signing for a new club. Definitely when you come in England. I think he will come good, but yeah, man, I think games like that, I mean, moves like this put into perspective how hard it is and just how hard you have to be to work. You know, it's not a wavy thing. I'm coming back to London. I mean, come back to England. I'm going to do my thing. It don't work like that. Maybe there's a lot of the pressure. You know, United, it's a heavy club to play for and all these things. You need time. There is a degree of an Ollie tax as well. I think he will come good, but it's scary hours, man. You know, scary hours. Champions League Varane. You know, scary hours. Mr. Sewell, like just to get packed in, just about to escape beating Villarreal and Newcastle, probably get packed in by Atalanta. It's amazing. You know, glory, Man United and that. Can't like Emerson Royal's a serious fraud. You know, I don't want to judge a man so early, but he looks shit. This is our more important week of the season. If we go for top four, we go back to moaning. Arsenal top 4. I think you're setting yourself up for heartbreak if you're trying to eye up Arsenal bagging the top 4 position. But fair play, you're entitled to believe that. I don't know if all of that one though. That's a bit mad. Saul, you know what? He got his start, got revealed that he's a fraud from the start based on how he's moving and got clipped. But if you judge everyone on 6 months, it's going to be a myth, man. Not everyone can do the Tomiyasu thing. You get me? Like, not everyone's signings can just come true and do what they need to do. Not everyone's on the Lokonga thing, like, you know. Boy, it's peak. Oli isn't going anywhere. He signed a 3-year contract extension early this year along with his assistants. Bro, Man United got money to waste, so they'll waste their money clipping him and whatever his compensation package is. You know, hopefully they get a former United player that can turn manager in Steve Bruce if he leaves so the banter can keep going. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. On that note, though, people, I'm going to love and leave you just because, you know, I've got to be live. It's a quick little lunch break. Going to be live at 3 p.m. over on Twitch where we'll talk more about football in general. Hope to see you all there. Please make sure you're hitting your like buttons. Obviously, where Arsenal is concerned, people, I'll be back at 7 p.m. on YouTube, which obviously would place us an hour before kickoff, where we'll obviously be speaking about the game. One love to everyone who's hit the like button so far and set their reminders of that video. So, yeah, people, let me give you the link here. And then, obviously, Twitch at 3 p.m. So, not too long to wait, really. We'll be back. So, yeah, and obviously, make sure you're checking your Twitch calendar and all of those sort of things, man. So, yeah, man, the schedule will be your best friend. The YouTube community tab will be your best friend. We're at Twitch, 3 p.m. UK time, bro. There's a live stream from me every day this week. In fact, specifically a watch along. You know, Friday we've got Arsenal working from backwards. You know, today we've obviously got Palace. Friday, Arsenal Villa. Thursday, Lazio Marseille. Wednesday, 2 Champions League. So 5:45 will be on Twitch. The 8 p.m. will be on YouTube. Same logic on Tuesday. And then, yeah, man, content. Sunday, I probably would do it on YouTube. Arsenal versus Liverpool. You've also got West Ham versus Tottenham, which probably be on Twitch. Saturday, definitely on Twitch, Chelsea versus Norwich. And then you've got Brighton at 5:30. So content. And there'll be other videos here, there, and everywhere, people. I don't stop. So, yeah, on that topic, people, I'm going to love and leave you lot. You know, stay blessed. Be back again in a few moments. I'm out. Hit the like button as well.
Because you always use that active red light defending. I think it's like